cold. I watched the shoreline come closer to the point of my breath. After several days on the ghost sea, anything to stand out from the planks of this boat would be welcome. The sun was setting fast, and I had to squint to see the glinting roof of Solitude's blue palace in the far distance. I wondered how much of this bitter place Uncle had seen in his youth. In his will, Uncle Mateus left me his favourite boat, the key to his home in Whiterun, and his sword. I think he hoped I would find myself here, in our homeland. By the time we ported in Solitude's docks, dusk had set in, and the light snow had turned to icy rain. I listened for the sound of a bustling marketplace that Uncle had so fondly remembered. I supposed that the rain had ushered everyone into taverns, shops and inns, because now all was quiet. I had nothing but the wind blowing through the port, and the rain falling from the bitter sky. Early the next morning I sold Uncle's boat to the employee of the East Empire Trade Company. It fetched a fair price. I paid the carriage driver soon after to take me to Whiterun. We had no trouble on the road, though I saw abandoned forts through thick pines that were no doubt overrun with bandits. As we rode the last stretch to the heart of Skyrim, the rain changed to a heavy fog that sat over the valley. I had sent a sum of money and instructions to prepare the breeze home according to my needs, along with the date it was to be prepared. The city of Whiterun was full of life. I could hear the marketplace up the cobblestone street. I could hear children playing, dogs barking, people haggling, bickering and conversing. Hunters, merchants and guards walked about their streets and through the tall pines. I could see the head of the city, the palace of the Jarl himself, the great hall of Dragon's Reach. I asked a guard to my left which estate was the breeze home. He replied that it was straight ahead past the forge, between the two maples. I nodded to the guard. As I passed the forge, I heard something about more swords for the Imperial Legion. All of Tamriel knew of the civil unrest that plagued Skyrim of late. An interesting time to arrive in my native land. The home had been prepared to my request, so after viewing the layout of my new home, I decided that it was time to rest. It had been a long journey and my eyes were heavy. Soon after, an incident occurred. It had been 1 week since the day I came to Whiterun. After doing very little for several days, I decided to change up my daily routine a bit. I decided to go for a hunt. I'd spent many hours with Uncle Marteus in the wilds of many territories. The art of the hunt was just one of the many things he had taught me. After a few hours, I had nothing to show for my efforts. I couldn't get a good position on any of the wildlife. As I walked, clouds gathered and another of Skyrim's icy drizzles set in. I noticed a light column of smoke a good distance away. I decided to approach to see if I could get some assistance with the hunting in the area, or at least warm my hands by a fire. I noticed two things as I walked toward the two people who occupied the area. Hands were readied on weapons and there was no visible hunting equipment. I readied my sword and called out that I had a few questions about the area. My greetings were met with warnings to back away.
That's close enough.
I assured that I meant no harm. For a moment I thought the hostility had gone. That moment was all it took for the Khajiit to almost cut me in two. As quickly as it began, it was over. Blood mixed with rain on the cold ground. I was dizzy. It took me a moment for my eyes to adjust. I could only think of one reason that they would have been so hostile. Hostility is bred of secrecy. These ones had something to hide. A note on the table near the fire confirmed my suspicions. A quick look around their cave told me little else about these wretches. There was a chest next to some crates that I was able to pry open with a small metal pick I found nearby. No sooner had I relieved the chest of its contents than I heard voices and footsteps. They quickly realized I was not either of their cohorts and were on me in an instant. There were 3 this time and I feared for my life.
Wait to count out your coin. It's so much easier to rob when you're dead.
More warm blood ran to the ground and over my hands once again. I stood there, shaken. I looked around at the fallen bodies and went to the fire that had been burning since entering the area. I set my sword on the rocks and let the rain wash the blood from its blade and hilt. And then, as I sat with the icy rain falling onto my shoulders. It set in. Within minutes, 5 lives had been taken by my hand, and I stared into the fire those bandits would never feel the warmth of. At length, I decided it was time to return to the breeze home. The sky had darkened a bit, and the rain was still falling. I walked quickly, not feeling the cold anymore. Once home, I washed the blood from my hands. I went to mount Uncle's sword on the wall, but instead decided to set it on a table near me. I stared into my own fire and realized that I was still shaking. Never before had I taken the life of a man from this world. My mind was full of their cries, their faces of anger, fear and then peace, as they laid underneath the dim grey sky. With my thoughts racing and remembering and my heart heavy, I did not sleep well that night.